Welcome back to Wrenches in Motion. In today's video, we finish up the motor and trans install into the CL, and we finally fixed the passenger seat for good. And with that, come along for the ride. Well, after much trials and tribulations, the motor and transmission are back together again. Brackets are on. The transmission fell off the jack. Busted the third gear pressure switch and busted the connector off the solenoid, which is okay because I got another solenoid over there. But the third gear pressure switch, I'm gonna have to go get another one. Go figure. And then I can swing it over and drop her in the hole. So one thing I forgot to mention is both of the transmission mounts are shot. I'm going to put them in loosely, and then once everything gets dropped in, I'll be able to move them around and put the bolts in. But I always want to make sure they're in loose first. That way it's easier to throw everything in and hopefully get everything bolted up. Okay, it's hooked up, ready to go back in. I think that angle is going to be good. What I don't know is if I'm going to have to jack the car up and lower it down in order to get the transmission over the core support. Don't think I'm going to be able to get it high enough. So I may just throw some wheels on it and drop it down. And then once the engine's over the hole, go ahead and jack it back up. I think that's going to work. Well, I thought I was ready to put the engine in. Had to take off the spool valve and the VTEC solenoid so that I could have enough room to get in there. And I'm going to have to jack the car back up. And then I'm going to have to jack the transmission up so I can put the mounts on. But the other three mounts are in. Yeah, now comes just all that wiring, which shouldn't be too bad. Done it before. Okay, so here's where we're leaving off for the night. Motor's in, transmission mounts replaced. Those are bolted in. All the motor mounts are in and bolted down. I haven't started running the electrics yet. I want to get that third gear pressure switch replaced first, and then I'll start running everything down. And there's that, if you can see that little bee thing, he keeps building nests in my hoses. I've showed you a couple times he built one in here. I had to keep digging it out. So everything's clean now. Hopefully he'll stay away, but figure the odds of that. So, okay, third gear pressure switch right here. Pop that one out. Take our lovely new one. Pop that in. 22 millimeter. And I wanted to say, I think I killed that bee or bug or whatever it was that was building the nests, filling a bunch of things with mud and larvae. I think I killed it this morning. At least I hope I did, because I'm about to go to New York for 5 days and I don't want to come back and have everything all plugged up again. Okay, I know I missed a lot of updates, but here it is back together. Except for plastic there, a couple other little things. Probably not going to stay in here anyway. Alright, things left to do. Drill and tap that because that bolt broke, so we'll do that. And power wash this thing because it's dirty. So let's go take a drive. Let's see if we got fourth gear. Here we go. Second. Third. Fourth. And fifth. I'm thinking it's going to work perfectly. Okay, so here we go. It's going to go first to second by itself, and then we'll shift up from there. Second. third. That used to be neutral. Okay, so when I was on my way up to New York, there's a junkyard in Hazleton, Pennsylvania called Harry's You Pull It. And I did a check before I went, and they had a normal CL that was black with a tan interior. So I pulled the seat out. That's it here. I tested it in the junkyard, and both tracks moved back and forth. So I figured we had a winner. I just plugged it in, and let's see if the recline works. And the recline doesn't do anything. Let's see if the tracks work. And maybe you got to plug everything in. Okay, so here's a professional tip. When you're in the junkyard and you use your test connector to see if the tracks move, don't forget to unplug it and plug in the real motor from the car when you're trying to test it to see if it works. Okay, now let's see if it works. Oh yeah, both tracks move. That is sweet. Recline still doesn't work, but recline worked on the other seat. So we're just going to take these bottom tracks off and put on the other seat, and then we shall have it. Finally, a functioning seat. Alright, so the saga of the seats continues. This is the ugly, nasty seat with the good track setup that works. Already tested in the car. This is the good Type S seat with the bad tracks. We already started taking it apart. So what we're going to do is take the other side of the tracks off, and then take these off and throw them on there. Should be these bolts, the bolt coming in the top, the bolt going in the side. And I believe we're going to take these off and then get to the ones up here. I'm not sure yet, but that's the way it's looking. So, okay, we've got the Type S seat sitting in here with the tracks from the other seat. So let's test the recline. That part works. Let's test the forward and back. Nothing. Well, that's not good. Okay, so in the never-ending seat saga, this is the wiring harness that we took out of the original Type S seat. And we decided to take the wiring harness out of the new seat because that one worked in the car. So we knew that that was working. So, new wiring harness is in the old seat. And once again, tilt works, and both tracks move. The seat is fixed. So now I'm going to take it back out, put the plastic back on, make it all nice and neat. So as my luck would have it, Patrick definitely decided he was going to take the Acura, so it's going to be sad to see that one go.